Hello, I've been having a problem when I go deeper than I need to in here, so I'm going to skip a lot of the setup on this drawing and just talk about how we go about doing -B command block commands and W block commands as a way of cleaning out so you don't send out too much information. This is particularly true if you're working in a program like Civil 3D or something else that's got layer upon layer, or you're in a very complex drawing and you just want to send out the simple thing. The simple thing would either be something that's tied to an insertion point that you would like to be 0 when you open it up, or the simple thing is something tied to a larger 0, 0 coordinate or some known coordinate point where you're sending things out that are fixed in a spatial framework. So that said, let's get started by typing minus toolbar, and I get at least one toolbar out and go through minus toolbar, and then I'm going to say draw. All right, so what I'm setting up is some basic blocks. So I'm going to make my box. I'm going to make a box, so for the basic blocks, that's 1 unit. I'm going to go at 1, 1, and I'm going to zoom extent, and I'm going to leave that zoom extents and zoom window. It's actually acting a little weird here. So I've got something that's my box. If I'm going to consider that to be my 1 square box, I am very often going to make a couple more layers. Minus LA for layer, new block underscore point underscore 1, new block underscore point underscore 2. And the reason I'm doing that, I'm going to set up a couple of different sets of points on here so I can turn them on and off at will. So I'm going to go now, once again, layer new, and the new layer is going to be block underscore hide, and that's going to use that for my box here. So I'm going to take that box right here. Remember, you can right click on anything, change its properties, and change those properties to block hide. So that now that's going to be on the block hide layer. Later on that we can freeze that out or get rid of it. And I'm going to begin now everything on layer 0 if I could, universal chameleon. I'm going to go ahead and offset maybe 0.1 just to make a basic box here. There's a basic box. I can take that box, put it on now layer 0. I'm going to X for explode. I can now say measure or divide, D-I-V-I-D-E, select divide. Before I hit divide, I want to be on a current layer. I'm going to make, for now, I'm going to make that 0.2, D-I-V-I-D-E. I'm going to select this. I'm going to divide it into 4 segments. It should be 3 points. Take this one into 4 segments. That's 3 lengths. Take this one into 4 segments. That's 3 lengths, or 3 points, and this is into 4 segments. Remember, you could change by saying PD style or format. We're losing that ability to do the pull down here, the menu bar, but I'm now going to grab a window across here. I'm going to grab a window, I'm sorry. I'm going to grab that point, and that point, and that point, and that point, right click, change the properties to block point 1. Now the reason we're going to do that is when we change the PD mode here, right? And finally we'll be able to turn on some points and not the others. So I'm listing, and I've got that, right? That is on block point 2. Now that layer here, if I grab this, that's on layer 0 and that's on layer 0. So that's going to be the universal chameleon. And we might want to go ahead and put that together. P-edit, grab that, yes, join. Now the question is, we're ready to define that block, but where is a logical insertion point? Well, it's kind of hard to say what you might want to do for your logical insertion point, but I'm going to go ahead and grab this bottom, this off here on the left, this one that's right here at that quadrant. The center might be a logical insertion point, the bottom left, but I'm going to go and make the assumption that that point there is. So now what I can do is go about and go ahead and do this. Minus B. The reason you used minus B and not block is because the questions are a little bit more logical. Minus B for block. Enter block name, or I'm going to call this box 1, no spaces. Insertion base point is going to be the node. And I'm going to grab all my objects. It now put it inside the drawing. If I say oops, it still keeps it inside the drawing. I know that by typing I for insert. It is one of my choices, box 1, and I can bring that box in. Now I grabbed the wrong one. I for insert, box 1, hit OK, and I can bring that box in. It will be a universal chameleon. Now, why those extra points? Well, first off, let me point out when I do a minus B, the block is only inside the drawing. What you have to do to go outside the drawing is W block. And if you want, you can just hit block, send it out, and it will do it. You want to make sure that you kind of keep track at least of something to do with the units, and you want to put it out typically as an 04 drawing and put it into some place that you know it's going. I'm just going to drop it carelessly here into bridge right now. Alright, I'm going to hit save here, and there they go. So we've put that out. Now, if you remember why you go ahead and make blocks, you do that. I'm going to now change my layer to object, which is the current layer is turned off, so I'm going to say layer. Turn on the object layer. Alright, I'm going to get rid of that box out here. Now, when I do I for insert and pull in box 1, you'll see a few things happen. Well, the universal chameleon was only the things that were designed on the correct layer, which was layer 0. The rest of these are going to be not universal chameleon. So when I do X for explode, I can list this one here. That is on block hide. I'm going to go undo here, undo. Now I can do things like go back to my layer states manager or my layer manager, and I can say, you know, I don't really want, sorry, I'm going to go up here, I don't really want the block hide to be on. And I might not even want the points 1 to be on. I might just want the points 2 to be on, and hit OK here. Now when I do line from the node, it's only going to find those 2 points that are there. It won't find the other ones. So that gives you a great ability to control different snap points on a drawing. So at this point, if I can get from the outside here, I can go here, I can offset T for through, grab that, through shift right click the node. If on the other hand, shift right click the node. If on the other hand I have another set of settings, I could go back and turn on, and this is all done by Layer Manager, just so you know. You're going to turn that on and turn that one off. And now when you do line from the node, it's going to find just one snap point there. So that's a really useful way to control complex constructions in terms of things that may have more than one point. All right, let's make one more block. We have one here. Remember, we can go into a block by typing bedit if something's not right. I can go into here and correct it from within this editor. PD mode, which is the format on nodes, I'm going to say 3 so I can see where all my points are at. All that stuff is good. I'm going to go ahead and close the block editor. All right, so I am going to very often learn to insert a block that I've got. I insert a block that I've got, put it in here, turn everything on, minus layer T star, which is above the 8, and on star. Now if I X for explode that, perhaps I can take everything now, grab everything, and I'm going to rotate it. Sorry, W is W block. I'm going to grab everything. Remember, left click, you're going to the principal's office, spacebar, B for base point. Base point, shift right click, mid between 2 points, between the end point of here and the end point I'm sorry, once again, I'm going to grab everything. I'm going to run out of time here. I'm grabbing everything. You're going to the principal's office. Spacebar, spacebar. B for base point. My new base point, shift right click, midpoint between 2 points, between the end point here and the end point there. I'm going to rotate 45 degrees. Now, those are still selected. Left click, spacebar, spacebar, spacebar. B for base point. Specify base point. Shift right click. Mid between 2 points. It's usually a good idea just to put those points in there. Mid of second point there. That's not doing it. I'm going to go ahead and grab everything again. Get rid of that. I'm going to grab this. Do it this way now instead. Scale, cross, R for remove, base point, shift right click, mid between 2 points, between the end point and the end point. And I'm going to scale that, I don't know, about 0.75. That's all good. Now we can remember, now at this point we don't have a snap point out here on the very edge, but end point will work for that. So we still have these snap points out for what we needed before. So we've got choices between endpoints, whatever else. We have things on layers still because we had kind of laid them out. I can now do a minus B for block. Block name would be diamond perhaps, or block underscore diamond. Insertion base point, I don't know. How about the endpoint right here? Select the objects. I'm going to grab everything. And of course, remember, we now go back to, we're in objects, so if we say I for insert, block 1 comes in that way. I for insert, block diamond comes in not that way. Once again, I for insert, block diamond. Okay, you bring that one in. Now I'm going to point out the problem with the way I've drafted these. Those snaps, if our snaps are not directly laid out onto our grid, these will not work that well for a grid. So these are all set up, remember, so you can do this. Later on you can bring these and snap them around, but you can later on have the ability to go into your layer commands and say you don't want the points on and you don't want the hide on. And so you can save that state so you're cleaned up. How do you save that state? Remember, right click in any toolbar brings up a set of toolbars, layers, right here, layer manager, and then we might say new layer state with blocks, block stuff hidden. So this is all typically done in settings. It's more than you necessarily need to know, but not more than you should know as you start learning to pull things from one program to the other. If you're going to take the time to develop blocks, get good at doing a lot of layers, and then saving for something other drawing. So I'm going to hit close here. I'm going to finally end this drawing by saying minus V for view, W for window, plot view, even though there's no one in particular. I'm going to grab from corner to corner here. Now I have that saved. I'm still going to now go ahead and save this file so I can do what I tried before in SketchUp. File, save as, and always save as an 04. Always save as an 04. And I'm going to call that block example. Alright, that's going to allow me to pull that into SketchUp, and that will be the last thing that I do. You realize you can do lots of stuff, pull a lot of blocks out of AutoCAD into SketchUp, so it's not like it's, and vice versa if you actually have things laid out well. Thanks for listening. I'm going to pause this and just show you how it comes in 10 seconds. Alright, I'm not going to be able to show you because I don't have a pro version, and I'm in too recent a version to have the free input, so you'll have to look at other ways. Thanks for listening. It is available on campus, however, on those computers.